Welcome everyone to Sila Fashion Channel. If you're a new viewer, you're welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, you're also welcome. Thank you for all the likes and the comments on the previous video, and today don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put on your notification bell in case there's any other video. You'll be the first person to know. And today we were treating on how to take our full measurement on a full gown, long gown and a short gown, and how to take our measurement on a skirt and a blouse, how to make the measurement on your straight skirt or whatever skirt and your top. So let's go. Now is to take our measurement on our long gown. How to take our measurement for our long gown. So first thing you measure first is the bust of the client. You take the bust of the client. This is your bust. You come here, you make your, if you go like this, then you take your bust like this. You come down the bust, you reduce it little to make it fit in the bust. Then you tighten it to get the exact fitness of the bust. This is what I got after the fitness of the bust. So I got 33. You measure your bust 33. You write it down BT for your writing. It's not must you write it in a full. You don't want to write it full. You write it BT. So that after getting your bust 33, then you come under your bust. This is under exactly immediate after your bust. It's under your bust for your gown, for a fitting gown. Of I know I said a straight gown, a long straight gown. Under your bust, you measure it, you tighten it. So we have 25 and half. 25 and half, that's for the under bust. Then you come down a little bit, which is your waist. You measure your waist. This is the waist. You measure your waist, make it fitting. So we get 24. It's not exactly 24. 24 and some inch and 2 inch. That's 24 and some 2 inch. Then that is after the waist. You go to your hip. That is the hip, the bum. Sorry, you go to the hip. This is the hip. This is the hip of the client. You measure the hip of the client. Measure the hip of the client. This is it. You can see it. You're fitting it well. So when the client is placing the clothes, it will look fitted. So this is it. We have 40 for our hip. We have 40 for our hip. Then after measuring the bust, the under bust, the waist, the hip, then you come down from your shoulder here. You come to the client's shoulder here. You measure it from the shoulder to the nipple. The nipple, that is the breast. The nipple, you come to it. That is to get your nipple, to get your bust. You can say to get your bust, to get your nipple. That is 9. So to measure your straight gown, to make it fitted, well fitted, you get it to get your bust is 9. Then under your bust, you come under it. In case, and this measurement, when you take this measurement to get your bust, the under bust and after your bust, is that in case you want to do a padded clothes for a straight gown, for a long gown, in case you want to get a padded clothes, so you must take to get your bust, which is 9, under your bust, which is 12 and a half. That's immediate after the bust, that's 12 and a half. Then you measure to get the waist. This is to get my waist, that's 14 and a half. To get the waist, 14 and a half. Then you come down, you measure it, make sure the taper is crossed down from the breast. Then you measure the hip. To get the hip for a straight gown, don't forget, that's 24. To get my hip, you make it come down to the hip side. You can see it to the hip side, that's 24 and a half. Then if I'm sewing, don't forget we are sewing a long gown. Then you measure to get the nail. To get this nail really means that from that nail, if it is a straight gown, the nail, the length, the shape from that nail down will be a little bit thinner. It won't be as free as from the hip. So when you get to the nail, it will be a little bit tiny, a little bit. For example, the measurement will reduce from, for example, maybe the measurement of it is 40. Then from the nail, I will minus like 4. To make the nail, to make the down of the gown more fitted, it will look more tiny. Most of the gowns that we sew, you can see that it's very tiny. So we make it more tiny and fitted. So you measure to get your nail. This is that to get my nail. I measure it from here. Don't forget to here. Make sure it does not get to your nail. Don't measure the distance to the nail. So it is before the nail. The measurement will be before the nail, which is 34. You can see it, 34. Then you now measure the full length of the gown. If the person wants it before his toe or after his toe, before the toe, you measure it, that's 59 or 60. And if you want a long gown, if the taper is not enough for your long gown, you use this first, then you take another taper. You start from the ending of the 60, you put another taper from the ending of the 60, measure it as possible as the customer or the client wants. That's how to get a really long length of it. Then after doing that, after measuring to get the bust, you now measure the nipple to nipple. The nipple, that is the breast point to the other, the first breast point to the other second breast point. In case, don't forget I said in case you want to use a parabolic dress. So to get your nipple, you get the breast point to this breast point. You can see is 6. This is 6. So that when you sew your padding, when you measure it, you will sew it more than or less than 6. So it's a 6. That's how you measure it now. So then I'll come to the back, to my shoulder. I'll come to this is the back. I want to measure my shoulder. So I'll come here, from this place. That is the end point of for the client. You come from here to the side. It's 12. Mostly for customers is 12, 14, 16, 15, but mostly it's 15. For now I'm using a manicure, but for a woman being is mostly 15. But this is 12 and a half. You can see. So after measuring that, we are done with that. You turn your hand, you turn your customer. So you measure your hand. I don't know if you want a long hand or a short hand. So if it is a short hand, you measure it from here to get your short hand. Maybe 12, maybe long hand. This is it, that's 23. And there is some dresses that it comes from the armhole to this place and it started with our hand. So if in case of that, you start from the middle of the armhole, the middle of the back, or whatever you call it. You start from it like this, and it like this. You measure it. Like this. Measure it. You measure where you want it to get to. This is it. I want the armhole to get to 12. This is 12 armhole. Then my hand, I will stand from here. Measure the hand 6. And it is long. You want to measure it. It is long 19. And in some cases, the measuring their armhole to like this. You get whatever you want. So this armhole will make you get what you'll be measuring for your armhole, for the armpits. Let me use armpit, the word armpit, to make you understand. So this back measurements make you get the measurements for your armhole or your armpits when dividing it. So that is all. I think that is all for the long gown. We'll be taking measurements for the short gown. The difference between the long gown and the short gown is just that you measure where you want the long gown to get to. If it's under your knee or behind the knee, that is what you just measure. You make use of the bust. I'll measure the bust, the waist, the under bust, the hand, the handmole, everything. But the difference there is just that you want to know the measurement. That's the length of the gown. So you go like this. The way I told you, this from here to this. Before my knee is 40. Before on the knee is 42, and after the knee is 45. Depends on you. Ask the customer. You ask the client. Depends on how long or how short the customer wants. Some it might be shorter. It might be a little long. It might be on the knee exactly. It might be long. It might be 3/4. It might be anyhow they want it. So that is just about it. So you go about your bust, your under bust, your waist, your hip, your to get bust, to get your waist. And when measuring the hand, don't forget to measure the hand cuff. You may come up here, the hand. No, this shape here is bigger than this. So you come here, you measure this shape. This is 9. You come here, this is long sleeve. You measure this shape. This is 8. This is 8 or even less than 8. So you can do it 7.5, 7.25. So to make it more fitted on the hand. That's all. So now we're going to the skirt and the blouse. But first thing we'll be measuring the skirt first, then after then we'll be measuring the top. So to get your top, to get your skirt rather, to measure your skirt, your long skirt or your short skirt, you first come to the waist. This is the waist. You come to the waist. You know, it depends. If it's a young lady will want to put their skirts at the head, this is down. But it's for some other women, they want to put their skirt up. So you ask, it is better for you to ask from the customer or your client that we put our skirt. So you come to this place. For example, I put my skirt here. So you measure the waist of the skirt line is different from the normal waist. So this is it, you measure it like 26 to 26 for the waist of the skirt. Then you come to the hip. You measure the hip also for the skirt hip. You measure it is 40. Then you take the measurement from here, from your waist, maybe from your nipple, from your abdomen here down to the knee. Don't forget, to my knee, I have 19 to my knee. Then you measure to your knee first, that is 19. Then you measure to your hip, to the hip of your skirt. To get the hip of your skirt, that is 6. To get my hip of my skirt, that is 6. And depends on how tall or how big the person is, it might be 6 feet, it might be 7. Then after that you can now measure your knee, which is 19. Then you measure the full length of your skirt, maybe after the length, after the leg, or anyhow the customer wants it to be, anyhow. Or if it's a short skirt, you measure it, is it before the knee, on the knee, or after the knee, depends on how you want it. So that is all for the skirt. So now we've done the skirt now and how to measure your skirt, the waist. What you only need for your skirt is the waist, the knee, the hip, the knee measurements. And if it's a 6-piece skirt, where I got the knee, that will be the way you'll be, is to start from your curve line, your pieces line, you understand? So that is how about it. So now we're going to the top, how to measure the top. First thing to measure the top, you measure your bust. Like I said earlier, you measure your bust. You measure the bust of the client. Measure your bust. You measure the under waist also. To fit in the gown, you measure the under waist. You measure the waist of it. You measure the waist of the gown, of the top of the person. You measure the waist. After measuring the waist of the person, then you can also go ahead and measure your to get your knee, to get your bust rather, to get your bust, under your bust, and half length of the top. The half length of the top is 15. That's before your abdomen. That's 15 before the abdomen is 15. Then you measure it. Your waist is 14 or 14 and a half. The a little bit hinge is 15. And don't forget, while cutting your clothes, don't cut exact 15. You put some little allowance so that when sewing, it will be as after sewing it and gathering your flare or whatever top, it will come to 15. So it's 15. After the 15, then you now, that is the half length of the top. Then you now measure the full length. The full length of the top. You ask the customer, it's not need to be, if the top is made for the skirt, you make the top a little bit longer, that's 23. But if the top is made for skirt or trousers, you make it a little bit short, not that long, so actually fitting on the skirt or the trousers. So you can make it 21 or 21 and a half. You understand? So that is it. After doing that, and don't forget that is for a flare top. If it is for a straight top you are sewing, there's no need of measuring your half length. You can measure your half length as a usual basis, like 15. Then you measure the full length. That is for the straight top. You measure the full length of 22 for it. Then you come to the shoulder. You measure your back. The back is 13 or 12 and a half, whatever the back of the person's wear or shoes. And after then, you come to the center of it. Come to the center of it. You measure your hand, your hand. This is my hand. I want it short. I want it long. This is 16. I want it longer, maybe 3/4 hand, you want it 18. I want it 18. That's if you want the hand to start with want it to start with the shoulder. But if you want a straight normal hand, you can just measure it from here, measure it from here. Then a short hand will be 8, and a 3/4 hand will be 14. Then a full hand, measure it out, be 22. So you don't forget I said measure here. Here is bigger than here, so we measure it here. Not too tight, not too tight. Don't forget, not too tight. That's 9 and a little bit inch. That's 2 inch. Then you come here, you can make this a little bit tight. That's 8. Understand? Don't make this place too tight also, because while wearing the clothes it will be difficult while wearing it. So you can see for the table I have a little bit allowance. So while wearing it my hand like this, it won't look tight or it won't turn the clothes. So you bring some little space when measuring your hand, the curve. So this is it. And likewise, don't forget in the skirts, it depends on how you know how to sew your skirt. Some you want to make a measurement, you want to put your band for the skirt, and you might want to sew it straight, but I suggest you use a band for the skirt to make it stand firm. Why doing that? You know, for example, I choose my skirt to be long, to be 40. For example, let's say the skirt is 40, so while cutting it you minus 1. I'll teach you in my next video, but you just minus 1 from it. Then use from the measurement of the clothes, you start from 2. So the one that is left out to be for the band, so you can put elastic with the skirt and blouse to make it tight, and if it's normal skirt you can put it to the fitting of the clothes. This is everything we have for the video today. I know it's more beneficial to you. Don't forget to put on your notification bell in case there's any video again about how to take a measurement and our cutting. And don't forget to subscribe and like, and whatever your comments might be on the video, please, I would like to hear from you. Thank you.